Welcome to Burning of the Midnight Lamp, where we are dissecting music history, album by album, track by track. And in this episode we have come to the third track on Vangelis' Blade Runner album from 1994, Wait for Me. Please like and subscribe to get notified by our other discussions on this album, and we do, of course, other discussions on other albums by other artists as well. We have a podcast where we are discussing the full analysis of the whole soundtrack album, how it relates to the movie, and so on. And on top of that, we have a Patreon where we have published a whole podcast and where you can join us on listening to the album from start to end. My name is Wora.
My name is Chris.
My name is Ivan.
And we're just going to jump straight into it. Wait for Me. Wait for Me. It's the third track on Blade Runner, and a track that was not recorded back in 1982 or included in the movie, but recorded specifically for this album, although it could just as well have been in the movie.
Yeah, it's similar in tone and sound. Obviously, he went back and used some of the same instruments. It's the only track that we know was new to the 1994 edition, according to Paul M. Salmon in his Future Noir book. Vangelis was inspired again by Ridley's pictures, as he's quoted saying in the booklet, and made a new track. Inspired again, it might be, of course, that the director's cut came out in 92. Could have been something that kick-started new inspiration, but we don't know. He hasn't commented.
But I've always thought that was the case.
Yes.
That had some connection with that. Maybe even worked with Ridley Scott for that director's cut as well, or had some kind of dialogue. And of course, even though the album came out in 94, you could have been in the studio in 93 and so on to prepare it.
Because there are elements here, especially the ending, the wind noise at the end. It doesn't really fit in with the original movie theme, I think. It's sort of like taken from Oxygen, Jean-Michel Jarre.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, he had been working on the Antarctica soundtrack before this, so but it's
it does sound like a track that could have fitted in on many of the albums that he made in between or even afterwards. It's a beautiful track, though. I really, really like it.
Me as well.
I also like the dialogue or the words from the voice from Rachel that he's using in the first part of the song. Very, very far behind in the mix. Very dreamy. It's almost like a dream, and it fits very, very well.
Young's vocal there is from the middle of the movie, around just over an hour, as she's visiting Deckard in his apartment and having some questions and about herself and her future. Would she be hunted by him as he hunted others? Did he know how much lifespan she was programmed with, and so on? So it's an existential, scary moment, but it's played not with fear but with a lot of sadness. And, I agree that the vocal sample here just fits perfectly. And then the music starts and it builds and it mutates all the way, changes all the way.
It does. Very jazzy style. He uses the saxophone here. I think it is Vangelis playing the saxophone and the harmonica later on the keyboard. It could have been possibly played live, but there are certain places there I think that it sounds like it's a keyboard saxophone. A very good one though, but still, that's what it sounds like to me. I could be wrong though.
Yeah, could be another digression from me here, because the saxophone here reminds me very of a movie, the Lethal Weapon movies.
Okay.
There are some scenes in there where he sort of used the same saxophone, so I got some flashbacks to the to that movie when I heard that saxophone. So it's of course it's part of the time era at that time.
It could be perfectly right. I don't remember that, but it's from a similar time.
Yeah.
And there's just so many good parts that just come one time. They're not repeated. Like there's one time when you just hear the synth bass stops and then continues. And it sort of goes in a circle. The beat, it sounds like a 3D where you, at least if you listen on a headphone, it sounds like it walks. The sound moves around your head.
Surround sound.
Like a surround sound, like a spiral. And then it's gradually it feels a bit uplifting because you get these washes of sound that sort of lifts you up as it builds. So it's a very interesting momentum of that track. Different type of momentum than the previous track.
I prefer this track over the previous track. I'm not too fond of the previous track, and here it really goes into another level for me. And what do you think? You prefer this new recording over the original 1982 recording from track 2? Please let us know in the comments below. I don't think we have much more to say about the track. We could go deep into the music, of course, but none of us are that knowledgeable about musical theory and so on. And with no lyrics or anything like that, I think we'll leave it there and go into the next track, which is Rachel's song, which we will do in the next episode. Thank you for watching, and for us it's only to say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.